Sahanavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. There is a question here. In doing Karma Yoga, are we endeavoring to transition from being kartas, dedicating actions to Bhagavan, to not being karta at all? Yes. If the jiva is not the karta and Ishvara is not the karta, then who or what truly is the karta? I am trying to be present and engaged in my life while also cultivating inner space for connection to Ishvara, Atma. And this question about the karta keeps returning. Yeah, difficult to get rid of. That's all. Karta is difficult to get rid of. Because that orientation, I am the agent of action. And to me, the results of action accrue. This is the conditioning. And this is what one has received from the family, because the family also believes that. And then that family also believes that. Everybody, it has a paramparaya praptam. This is the kartru parampara. This is the lineage. Because look at the whole world. Not just human being. Even the ants are so busy. Everybody is busy doing something. And that doing is not a problem. Doership is what is associated with samsara. Who is the karta? No one is the karta. Mithya. Ultimately non-existent. So that which appears and disappears, appears and resolves. It appears on this as though on this eye, the adhishthana, the eye which is like which lends its radiance, its presence, just like the orange cloth appears on the crystal, quote unquote, making the crystal into Swami Kristalananda. Okay? This is what we say, Swami Kristalananda aa rahe hain, because this is what it is. But then there is that is not the reality. That is not the truth. So then, how did the crystal become orange? If we ask the question, that is the same question as how did I become the karta? What is the answer? I did not become the karta. I am not karta. I am not bhokta. So Karma Yoga, as the questioner has pointed out, is to step back. And to step back and say, I am not the doer. In the beginning stages of our growth, we need somewhere to hang the coat of kartritva. So in the winter, you go to your room, you take off the sweater. What do? You have to hang it somewhere. So you take off kartritvam and hang it somewhere. We need a place to hang it, because I still think it is there. I still think it is kartritvam is this hot potato and I am just jumping with it. Can't hold it, can't leave it. What to do? Give it to Ishvara. Catch. And then really speaking, I am juggling invisible balls. Saying, oh my God, I can't leave this. I can't go anywhere. This is too much. Oh, somebody please help me. Invisible balls. So then, what do I have to do? Call in Ishvara. Here, take. Ishvara plays the game. All right, give. Ishvara pretends to juggle the balls. That's what it is. It's all just in that vein. So first, Ishvara is needed because I need a place to surrender the kartritvam. A surrendered kartritvam is as good as a given up kartritvam. So I need a place to surrender the kartritvam, and then there is some peace. And then after that, as I grow in the knowledge, I see that the karta is a superimposition on the I that is free of doership. Bhokta is a superimposition as though on the I that is free of receivership or done-in-ship or enjoyership or experiencership. So many ways you can do that. So this is the reality. Just like the snake appears because I do not know the rope. Similarly, karta appears because I do not know that this is a aropa. That's what it is. Okay. Continuing with Pratijna-Gita. The next verse which we have to do is 1865. Chapter 18, 65. 65th verse of the 18. When I say 1865, it's not the 65th chapter. 18th chapter, 65th verse. Manmana bhava madbhaktah madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. As it was pointed out, this we did fairly recently, so I'm optimistic that something would be still retained, or even when I start talking, arthaspuranam will take place. Arthaspuranam means the meaning will shine in the head, in the heart. So here is a verse which is a redo of that which is there in the last verse of the 9th chapter. There only the last line is different. Mame vaishyasi kaunteya or something like that it is. But it is very similar, almost identical. But then why was that verse not chosen in the Pratijna-Gita Shrinkhala? Why was this verse chosen? Because Bhagavan is giving a promise. These are promissory notes. Pratijane. It is not janihi. Pratijanihi. You know that I love you and you are dear to me. Bhagavan says here. But he says, I know. I promise you that you are extremely dear to me. I promise you that. This is the last line, and that's why out of the two identical sounding verses, what is the last line of the 9th verse? 9th chapter? Mame vaishyasi yuktva evam matparayanaha. Yeah, so that is different. Matparayanaha bhutva mameva eshyasi. You will gain me only after becoming quote unquote Matparayanaha, the one for whom the end is God. Usually what is the role of Ishvara? Ishvara is a means to various ends, but here you make me the end, and then for the search it is the end. It is the end of the search. But compared to that, this is much more up close and personal. Here Bhagavan is saying what? You are dear to me. And that is Pratijane. I know. I promise you that you are dear to me, which is why this instruction is being given. Manmana bhava, one. Madbhakto bhava, madhyaji bhava, mam namaskuru. Pujya Swamiji took 10 days of talks on this very verse. 10 days. Long series of talks on just this one verse. A whole camp went in just this one verse. That is how deep it is. And as we have seen, Manmana Bhava, means be the one whose mind is always in me. Me means Ishvara. How to do that? The very thought is difficult. Because as soon as we think of God, what happens? What happens? First thought, God. Second thought, God. Third thought, dog. Yeah. Or the dog is becoming very powerful enough to replace God. So Manmana Bhava, be the mind be the one for whom the mind is always in Ishvara. This means I have to understand what Ishvara is, first of all. We can't ask the question, where is Ishvara? Especially in India. Even the villager will look at you up and down, who is not doesn't know V for Vedanta, will look at up and down and say, look at you up and down and say, where are you from? That you are asking this question. We can't ask the question, where is Ishvara? The answer to that simply is, where is Ishvara not? This is what we have to say. So that question, the avenue is closed, because we know now, after studying the Bhagavad Gita and many Upanishads, where is Ishvara not? Everywhere is Ishvara. So Manmana Bhava means may you be the one, this is a blessing by the Lord, may you be the one for whom whose thoughts are always centered on Ishvara. So that means what? God is Ishvara, dog also Ishvara. So we can't ask the question, where is Ishvara? We can ask the next question, what is Ishvara? And the answer is just like the question, what is Ishvara? Ishvara. That which is, we just put a comma. What is Ishvara. What is the question? What is Ishvara? That is where the answer is. What is Ishvara. What is means what? There is everything is. Flower is Ishvara. Wherever the word is used, that is Ishvara. If you spell Ishvara in English, what are the first two letters? Is. See? Even it translates across languages. Is. What is Ishvara. And so now, of course, the mind is always with Ishvara. Because what is Ishvara, and what is in front of me is Ishvara, what is behind me is Ishvara, left of me is Ishvara, right of me is Ishvara, everywhere is Ishvara, Ishvara, Ishvara. And so if what is Ishvara, then try to be not Manmana, means try to be the one for whose mind is not with Ishvara. Please try to do that. Please try to get away from what is. Can you get away from what is? No. That means what? One is already with Ishvara all the time. Nay, one is Ishvara all the time. That what is Ishvara, that is resolves into I. Is resolves into I, and so all that is there is I. And so this is. Everything is. Flower is. Flower is. And then, I think it left. So, even if I say, there was a flower, but it has gone because it said, I have to leave early. I can't wait till the end of the course. Oh, it's back? Okay. Flower is back. Okay. Flower is, when I say, the presence of the flower belongs to Ishvara. Asti, isness, Ishvara. And then, what else does the flower have? Some shape, form, and a name. What is the name of this flower? Carnation. I will beg to differ and call it an incarnation. Okay? Yeah. Not a carnation, but an incarnation. This is what it is. So, word and meaning plus is. Is, with regard to a word and meaning, Ishvara. Flower is. But when I unpack the word is means what? It exists. What exists? Well, the flower exists. Yes, but what is this flower? Well, it has these serrated edges in the form of the petals so that it can survive the winds, so that it doesn't break or fall. And then it has a certain kind of a stamen and certain way of pollination so that it can again survive as a species. All this we can say. And when I start to write a PhD thesis on the flower, what is that? Knowledge. Flower is nothing other than flower knowledge is. Now the question is, can I separate flower is the isness from the knowledge? No. How long is the flower? Oh, this is plastic flower, so it will remain for a long time. But if this were a real flower, now as I am holding it, it is what? Wilting, falling. Petals start to fall. Then we say, well, flower gone. Flower is flower gone. Well, this is what the common parlance talk is all about. But really speaking, we would say what? Flower isn't. No flower is. Strangely, even when I deny the existence of the flower, I am constrained to use the word is, as in flower is not. When I say flower is not, absence of the flower is. And here what is the flower? Name and form, word and meaning. So this is what we have to understand. When we understand Ishvara, this is how we have to understand. The isness keeps going to various forms and blessing those forms. Flower bud is. Let's imagine it's not yet blossomed. Flower bud is. Blossoming flower is. Bloomed flower is. Wilted flower is. Withered flower is. Compost is. Another flower bush is. The is doesn't go. Is always is. What goes and what comes? Nama, Rupa. Word and meaning. Name and form. Word and meaning. And it's all dependent on my tongue. The word and meaning is dependent on my tongue. Flower, that's what. Or what was the name? Carnation. That's what it is. It's a word, carnation, that we all agree on and we all understand what that means, and then we use it to describe this object. But the object is recognized only by its existence. Object exists, and the other way the object is understood is because of its all knowledge. And how long does this knowledge continue? How long does the existence continue? We saw withered flower is, wilted flower is, petal is, compost is, another flower bush is. The is continues forever. This is what we say Ananta. Is Sat. And then all knowledge is what? Chit, Jnanam. And then how long does it last? Forever. Ananta. This is the nature of Ishvara that is spread all over the whole universe. Therefore, I cannot ever get away from existence of anything. I cannot ever get away from the knowledge that is non-separate from the existence of anything, because this whole universe is intelligently put together to serve a purpose or many purposes. One of them is to get rid of karma, exhaust the karma. That is, if one asks the question, why this universe was made. If one doesn't ask the question, we ask the question, what universe? That is, we will ourselves ask the question after dismissing all the objectors and Purva Pakshis. So, is and is all knowledge and is forever. This is what is there. The infinity shines through all names and forms. In and through all the names and forms, all that there is Ishvara. So now do we have to make a separate and a special effort to follow Bhagavan's command, Manmana Bhava? No. Then why does Bhagavan say Manmana Bhava when everything you can't get away from Ishvara, you cannot get rid of existence, you cannot get away from Chit, you cannot get rid of sentience, you cannot get rid of knowledge, you cannot get rid of anything in this Jagat. Then why does Bhagavan say Manmana Bhava? Because even though Ishvara is everywhere, it is possible to miss the presence of Ishvara in my life. Therefore, there is an alienation, so to speak, that is palpable. There is alienation, there is loneliness. Even though the person is in a crowd, one feels lonely, one feels purposeless, and one feels like there is nobody here for me. Why? That alienation is due to Ishvara Ajnanam, which is really what? Atma Ajnanam. Ishvara Ajnanam, not knowing Ishvara is not knowing myself, because that Ishvara is myself alone. But we can't blame ourselves for not knowing, for having Ishvara Ajnanam. One cannot blame oneself. You know why? Because of the fact that this Ishvara is not locally available. Not available. In and through everything means what? You have to look underneath. In and through means what? People say it is what? Superimposition. Super means supra. I have to look underneath something. Underneath what will be there? Nothing. Some dust, because nobody has cleaned in a long time. That is what I will see. In and through, underneath. These are all very nice words. But we have to see this. We have to look at it in two ways. First, we look at it from the standpoint of cause and effect. The Jagat is an effect, and so there must be a cause. And that cause we know from studying the Upanishads is that effect rather is non-separate from the cause. We know that. Effect is cause is not effect. Cause is cause, effect is cause. Like even this table. So, if I say, wherever there is wood, there is table, would I be correct? No, because wood can be in many forms. That's why I can also say touch wood, not just touch wood. Touch wood, I say. Sawdust, perhaps. So, wood can be in many forms. But right here, when I say the other way around, wherever there is table, at least in this room, there must be what? Wood. Would I be right? Yes? Only in this room. I mean, I know there are metal tables, all these things, but here, in this room, if we were to say, yatra yatra wood, tatra tatra table. Or, that would not be correct, or yatra yatra table, tatra tatra wood. Then I would be right. Only in this room. Because yes, there are metal tables, steel tables, so many kinds of tables are there. We have to table that issue. We are only talking here. Now, are wood and table synonyms? No? You cannot say that. That's why you cannot say wherever there is wood and table. I cannot sometimes refer to this as bring me wood. No, I'll have to say bring me table. So wood and table are not synonyms. What is the relationship between wood and table? Cause and effect. Cause and effect. So therefore, that which is the effect is non-separate from the cause. So therefore, yatra yatra table, in this room, in this situation, tatra tatra wood. Same thing we have done with pot and clay also. We have done the exact same thing with the pot and the clay. Wherever there is pot, there is clay. But the other way around doesn't work. Wherever there is clay, there is pot. No need. No need to say that. Because clay, we can have Krishna figurine, which is over there, and we can have clay in the form of lid, jug, so many things. Yet another pot, so many things we can have in the form of made of clay. So that one cause, many effects. And the effect, non-separate from the cause, the effect issues forth from the cause, is sustained by the cause and goes back to the cause. Cause is free of effect. This is what is Ishvara's connection with the Jagat. Jagat is dependent upon Ishvara, comes from Ishvara, sustained by Ishvara, goes back to Ishvara. Ishvara is free of the Jagat, asanga. Because the essential nature of Ishvara is what? Satchidananda, which is the same as Atma Chaitanya, myself alone, Brahmatma. So therefore, it is very easy to miss this definition of Ishvara. Because what this verse is telling me to do, even just this word Manmana Bhava, is telling me to bring Ishvara, invite Ishvara in a tangible way in my life. How to do that? How to invite Ishvara in a tangible way in my life? We have to look at the various orders, which is knowledge. The order of geography. If these kinds of clouds form, then there is this kind of weather. And then if this is the situation, then that is what will happen. This is how earthquakes come. And the earthquakes can cause a tectonic shift under the water. And then the earthquakes can lead to tsunamis. This is all what? Law. That is why it can be studied. All these laws, that is non-separate from the cause, from Ishvara. I get to know Ishvara as the laws, and then what? There is no loss for me. No loss at all. It's all a win-win-win situation. You can't fight with the laws because the laws are just like that. You cannot say, I'm going to fly. Stupid gravity. I'm going to show you that I can just fly. Not to, after doing, finding out how planes fly and all. I'm just going to flap my wings and fly. I'm going to jump off that table and fly. What will happen? Yes, a big noise will come, that's all. Yeah. Proving the law of gravity. You can't fight with the law. Because it is what it is. What is Ishvara. Law is Ishvara. You cannot fight with the law of gravity. You cannot fight with the weather. It's going to rain, let's say. It says 90% chance of rain. And you said, no, I'm going to prove you wrong. What's going to happen? You'll come home like a wet dog. That's what will happen. Standing there. You can't fight the laws. Laws are there, and laws are not the mandates of Bhagavan. They are the very manifestations of Bhagavan. Manifestation of Ishvara is the law. And so there, what to do now? To relate to this, I bring in two laws which are very easily missed. The law of karma. Because it's a law that intimately affects me. Gravity also affects me. I take a toss while walking, it affects me. But the karmic law affects me much more intimately. But then it is not very easy to be dispassionate about the law of karma that I can be as much as the law of gravity. With the law of gravity, it can be studied, it is tangible, it is a subject that is taught in the universities, it is the basis of physics, etc. Every motion is equal and opposite, we have laws of thermodynamics and everything, so this I don't have a problem with. Can you have a curriculum, a university curriculum, where the law of karma is taught? Gahana karmano gatihi, Bhagavan is going to say the ways of karma are very dense and difficult to fathom, not easy to fathom. Gahana karmano gatihi. And so therefore what? This cannot be taught in the university. And so therefore it seems subjective, not objective. It seems like a subjective issue. Bhagavan is out to get me. How? Because the person next to me is not having this karma. Of course, they are having their own karma. But I don't see that. I don't see them suffering in the same way that I am doing. So I feel singled out. This is what is at the heart of unpacking this compound manmana bhava. May your mind be always with me. Mat mana bhava, manmana bhava. May you be the one whose mind is always with me. It's not about enclosing God in a thought, which is not possible. Because that God is not an object. Ishvara not being an object, you cannot enclose it in the thought. Like when I say flower, vritti vyapti takes place immediately. The vritti is in the form of the chakshu. The thought goes out. First I think of a flower, and then when I am shown this flower, the thought goes out in the form of the information. The chaitanya goes out through the eyes, wraps itself around the flower, so to speak. That is what is called vritti vyapti. Brings the information back, and then I say, this flower is known to me. That is the second step of the cognition. What is that called? Phalavya. Can I do this to Bhagavan? Vritti vyapti and phalavya? No, because it's not an object. The one who is wanting to do these two steps of cognition happens to be Bhagavan, non-separate from Bhagavan. So you cannot do this to Bhagavan. It's not available as an object. It's the content, the truth of the subject who is trying to figure it out. It's the content of the subject. And so manmana bhava is a ashirvachana here. That is why this verse is included. It's a blessing to be able to be and live like this. And what is this? This, look for the hidden law, the law of karma, and make peace with that law of karma, especially as it's unfolding in my life. This is at the heart of manmana bhava. That is the secret to understanding this word manmana bhava. That law of karma, as it applies to my life, what am I doing? Boxing gloves. I don't like you, I don't want you, I don't do this. This is not fair. That is how the Sri Rudram begins. This is how it begins. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Namaste Rudramanyava Uto Taishave Namaha. You look angry. I'm telling Bhagavan. Why? Because you are sending me karma. Difficult karma. That means you look angry and you look a little frightening because as to put it in the words of Shakespeare, what is that? The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Hamlet's monologue. To be or not to be is the question. To suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. He must have studied Rudram, really, or at least a little bit of Vedanta. Because he makes these kinds of remarks. You know, poets have that way of looking at it. All the world's a stage. Men and women are but actors. He says all these kinds of things. And so here, when I look at Bhagavan, Bhagavan looks very angry. Why does Bhagavan look angry? Because Bhagavan becomes the embodiment of the karma phala that is about to come, that I absolutely do not want and do not like. So first I do upashamanam of this karma phala that is going to come. Even though I don't know what it is. That's why it is scary, because I don't know what it is. Namaste. Namaste Rudra. Rudra means what? Rodayati, the one that makes you cry. That's why I call Rudra Hanky Bhagavan. There are two derivations. One is Rodayati Sarvan, the one who makes you cry, and rudanam dravayati, the one who wipes the eyes with a hanky after making you cry. Both the meanings are there. You can't even get angry. So namaste Rudra Manyave, unto your anger namaha, because anger is in the form of karma phala, which I don't understand. Unto your anger namaha. I'm nothing in front of this. Your anger, the onslaughts of these arrows. And then you have Shiva in the form of a hunter, is Rudra. Hunter hunting after what? Your karma. Hunter of your karma. That's what it is. Hunter of all the papas that one has done. And so, Namaste Rudramanyave, Utota Ishave Namaha. Now, Ishuhu means arrows. Ishave, to all your arrows that are in this, what is that called? Quiver. It is called quiver because it makes all the jivas quiver. That's why it's called quiver. Namaste to your arrows. Namaste to the bow. And then I say, what is this? This seems to be directed at me. I run this side, it is directed at me. I run there, it is directed at me. Wherever I go, it's directed at me. Look, this person has been so adharmic. Why don't you point it here? But still it is directed at me. So the first Anuvaka in the Sri Rudram is just a surrender and a supplication to all that I cannot accept. I cannot accept that Bhagavan is angry. It's a superimposition. It's my own projection. Bhagavan is not angry. I cannot accept that Bhagavan is far away. That is again my projection. I cannot accept that the arrows of karma phala are raining on me relentlessly. But then suddenly when I surrender, the arrows seem to stop, or at least I don't feel them so much, because it is karma phala. You see, that adrishta which was created in the last life. See, we know this, that every karma has two kinds of effect. What are they? Drishta, adrishta. Drishta means immediate effect, immediately fructified. Somebody says, oh, here is a piece of cake for you. Immediately you are satisfied. Drishta phalam. Adrishta means something that will fructify later. You had too many pieces of the cake. And then what? Stomach ache. That's why it rhymes with cake. Okay? Yeah. And so that is adrishta. Little later it will happen. Drishta phala means immediately I was very, very happy. And so two things are there. Drishta phala and adrishta. Why is there suffering, pain, sorrow, if I ask? It is all because of the karma phala from the past. And what karma phala? Adrishta. That unseen, invisible, that which fructifies later is what I am experiencing and suffering right now. This is what the jiva will say. And so the prayer in the form of the Rudra, Sri Rudra, which we are discussing now, any prayer, but right now we are discussing the Sri Rudram. This prayer, what does it do? It creates new adrishta. New adrishta. Why? Because it is a prayer. The will is free only in prayer and when giving dhanam. Even while giving dhanam, one would feel, I think I gave too much. But in prayer, the will is absolutely free, unfettered, because you don't have to pray. One doesn't have to pray. One can go rob a bank. One can go do anything. But one prays freely, and then because of that, new adrishta is created in the form of punya. This adrishta goes and attacks that adrishta. Even as I am quivering and saying, your arrows are terrible, turn them somewhere else, oh Lord, why are they against me? But at the same time I am saying, Shanta, to Shanti, to your bow. May your arms which are carrying the arrow be Shanta. May your face be Shanta. As I am saying that, I am creating new adrishtas. And this adrishta becomes an antibody and goes and attacks that adrishta and neutralizes the karma if it is not prabala prarabdha, very strong prarabdha, and if it is if it is prabala prarabdha, it will mitigate that karma. Manmana bhava. This is how it is. You plumb deep into the law of karma. The workings of the law of karma, which we learn from the Bhagavad Gita, especially in chapter 3, we see that we are part of this whole universe. There is a place for us, there is a purpose. Nobody is here without a purpose. Nothing is an accident in this universe. I have my work to do. I have my swadharma. I have my duty. I have my karma. I have everything. Whatever I have to do, I have to follow. Because it is the law of karma. It is a law. And the law, which seems to be partial, thanks to this new adrishta that is created, this adrishta goes and attacks that adrishta, neutralizes the karma, giving a little breathing space to appreciate how the workings of the law of karma takes place. And in that breathing space, there is some transformation. The surrender has already transformed me and made me a person who can say yes to life without complaints. This is what Karma Yoga is, saying yes to life. Too many times we say what? No, no time, no place, no, not now, no. We start saying yes. When we understand man mana bhava, mad bhaktaha, all that we will see later, but man mana bhava, this one word is very important, this one compound. Man mana bhava means what? I accept everything, including my non-acceptance. What is my non-acceptance? That is another law, the psychological law, the psychological order. My non-acceptance is okay in the psychological, when viewed from the standpoint of Ishvara, as the psychological order. Ishvara as the psychological order is what? Includes my no in the place of yes. First, when I say no and I am supposed to say yes, there is guilt. There is, oh, why did I say yes? But then I said already no, okay, how can I accept this no? When I first say this is not my no, it is a no coming from a certain, let's say, diffidence, hesitation, fear, intimidation, pain, sorrow, feeling of scarcity, whatever that may be. What is diffidence? What is hesitation? What is fear? What is sorrow? What is scarcity? Ishvara. Ishvara in the form of the psychological order which can be studied. In this situation, a person will behave in this way provided they have this kind of a background. It's a law. A child that has been neglected will grow up to feel unloved. This is not rocket science. This is a law. So the karmic law intersects with the psychological order, which is the law of psychology, which intersects with dharma, which intersects with all these things. One whole web of infallible, interconnected laws. Man mana bhava. When I look deep into the laws, I see that I am part of this. There is a flow, and that flow is a sacred flow. It is palpable. I sense it. And every minute of every day, of every hour, I have the choice whether to go with the flow or go against the flow. When I go against the flow, it hurts. Either now or later. There is a difficulty. When I go with the flow, there is a harmony. And when I go with the flow, going with the flow, I become one with the flow. That is what is Tattvamasi, being one with the flow ultimately. Man mana bhava. More we'll see tomorrow when? 10 o'clock. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.